slowly turning the music off. And I end up in the corner of the presentation. Hopefully you all can see me. And also Denise and Gayani. Warm welcome. We can see that people are still popping in, but please feel free to write hi in the chat so we can see that you are very much alive on the other side. Wow, I have... And let me see if I can read. Hi, hi, hi. Hello. Yay, that's awesome. So nice to see that so many of you are here joining us this lunch webinar. Maybe you are sitting at work, at school, at home, eating, chilling, drinking coffee. What do I know? Whatever you do, we can't see you or hear you. You're totally fine, but you can use the chat. So please do so. So this is a webinar together with Volvo Group and with us at Tjejer Kodar. We are so happy for this collaboration. And Gayani is going to talk about how do we quality assurance code, a super exciting topic. And we're going to talk for around 40 minutes. Well, not me and Denise, but we will start short. This is the introduction, basically. And then Gayani will take over the stage. And then in the end, we have 10 minutes for Q&A, questions from you, which I and Denise will moderate. Hi to Denise.
Hello, everyone.
And we can hear you. That's awesome. And I can also add during this webinar, we also have Jonna in the background. And she works with HR at Volvo Group. So if you have any questions concerning work at Volvo Group, what do I know? Maybe some work tips, interview questions, you can ask them in the Q&A function. So not the chat. You find a little thingy down here called Q&A. So if you type questions there regarding work, Jonna will be working in the background and answer them. So this is a great opportunity. And I already said to you that we can't see or hear you. So use the chat and Q&A. And I can see that the chat is working very well. So I just want to ask before we kick this off, where do you sit right now? Answer in the chat. Denise, where do you sit?
I sit home in Stockholm.
Home in Stockholm.
Where do you sit, Rebecca? It's more exciting to hear where you sit.
I'm actually sitting in sunny Portugal as we speak. Gayani, where do you sit?
I'm in Gothenburg.
Sorry, one more time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah, it's from Gothenburg.
Gothenburg.
Yes.
Well, let's see what the other. Pajala. Someone else is in Gothenburg. Växjö, Åkersberga, Örebro, Jönköping. It's a lot of people from Göteborg, Stockholm, south of Sweden. That's great. We're like really spread out in the whole country. Luleå, Östersund, Västerås. That's really cool. Wherever you sit. This is why I love hosting webinars, but you can really join from everywhere. But enough talking. Gayani, you're gonna introduce yourself and host this webinar with us right now. So I'm gonna give the mic over to you, basically.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. So first of all, I'll just try to share my screen. Yes. Can you see my screen now?
In some seconds. Started screen sharing. Yay! Now it's working.
Yes. Can you see the slides?
We see the whole PowerPoint. If you
Okay.
play it will probably...
Yeah, so I think I can just start. So before I just say anything about myself, so I would like to know a little bit about you guys as well who has joined online. And of course, welcome to the webinar and thank you for joining with us today. So if you guys can just go to the menti.com and just type this code. And there are actually 2 questions. It's very easy. So if you can just answer these 2 questions, that would be really, really nice. So yes, I can just present it.
I'm gonna try to write down. So maybe if you sit on your computer, you can copy paste what I'm writing.
Yes, so I'll just start presenting. So yeah, so I just need to get an idea about what are the roles that you guys are working with. Who has joined. So I can see a lot of front-end developers and of course quality assurance testers as well. Yes, and yeah, that is really interesting to see that most of the roles are actually from the IT industry as well. So it's really, really interesting. So yeah, if you just go to the second one, if you are a software end user, would you prefer the quality or the quantity of the features that you have in the application? I think a lot of people has the correct mindset about the quality. So that's what actually we need as quality assurance engineers in the software industry as well, because quality is very, very important. So yeah, I think uh, it's really nice to see these answers. So thank you so much, guys. So I will just move on with the slide first of all. Before I start, I'll just try to give a little bit of introduction about myself. So I'm Gayani Pereira. I'm working as a senior Agile Test Lead at VGCS. I'm actually from Sri Lanka, and I have done my IT degree also from Sri Lanka, and I have a bachelor's degree in information technology. So I have started my IT career actually in the beginning of 2014. It's almost around 9+ years of experience right now in the IT industry, which was really exciting. I believe it's the same for you guys as well. And yeah, after working like 5 or 6 years in Sri Lanka, I have moved to Malaysia as a senior quality assurance engineer. Then I just joined in 2022. I joined with VGCS as a senior agile test lead. And I believe everyone will feel the same thing. And for me, it was really exciting, this journey, because it's the software industry. It's getting evolved. I believe it's the same for you guys as well. So that's all about me. Yeah. So about today's topic, what we are going to discuss about today is about how we do the quality assurance at Volvo Group Connected Solutions, which we call that VGCS. So at VGCS, we believe that quality assurance is a very important topic that we should talk about. That's why we just put a lot of concern about the quality assurance at VGCS. I believe it's the same for the software industry as well, because without quality, we cannot give the best products for our customers. So that is why at VGCS, we are trying to build a lot of processes, and as well as we are using a lot of technologies as well, just to provide the best quality products for our customers, the Volvo Group customers actually. So quality assurance is a very large topic which we cannot talk within like 30 minutes, but at least I will just try to give a little bit of insight or the mindset that we have at VGCS about quality, how we are just working towards to the quality products for our customers. So that's about today's session. I believe you guys will get a little bit of insight about quality as well. I believe there are many testers as well, as I saw you guys in the rules. Yeah. So for especially for developers and the other roles that who are working in the IT industry, in the software industry, I believe the quality mindset is really, really important to have. That's what we are trying to do at VGCS as well. So if I just navigate to the next slide, so what we do at VGCS, we are a software company to support Volvo Group customers to achieve efficiency, sustainability, and safety by spearheading connected solutions and services. So what we do is that we are developing a software, a portal called Volvo Connect. So within Volvo Connect, we are just trying to gather lots of data. We have a lot of data from our customers through this data, what we are just trying to do is we are just trying to give the best connected solutions and services for our customers. We are just gathering a lot of data. We are making a lot of features where it will help for our Volvo Group customers to achieve efficiency, sustainability, and safety, which we believe that we should provide for our customers as Volvo Group. So that's what actually we do as VGCS. We are supporting for Volvo Group customers. So apart from this, we are supporting for many different brands as well, such as Volvo Trucks, Renault Trucks, Mack Trucks, Volvo Buses, and construction equipments, and etc. So we are supporting for all these brands. We are just trying to give best services for our customers. So in order to provide these services, one of the main topic that we talk about at VGCS is how we can implement the quality software for our customers, how we can provide the quality. So I will just try to give some inputs how we just try to maintain the quality at VGCS. So if we just go for the next slide. So we have different kind of roles within VGCS. And as I mentioned you, it's a very big software company, and we have many different teams as well. So many of the people are working as well. So it depends on your requirement of the team, of the need of your team. These roles can be differ, but most of the time, in general, if we take it as general, we do have product owners, UX designers, scrum masters, BAs, solution architects, backend and front-end developers, and of course, quality assurance engineers as well. So even though we have different roles, what we are trying to achieve at VGCS is that to have the same mindset about the quality. So from the very beginning of the requirement gathering phase to end of the delivery phase, we are just trying to maintain this quality. So in order to have this quality, we just have PI plannings and pre-preparations at VGCS, and we just try to get the best requirements for our cover customers, and we just try to maintain the quality of the requirement as well, and then the process goes on. And each and every phase in the software development phases, we just try to keep the quality as we are working with the different roles in different phases, but we are just trying to keep the quality in each phases that we are working. So that's the speciality in VGCS, I guess. So if we just move on, what is software testing? Software testing is done to evaluate a software application or a system to identify the defects or the potential issues before it goes to the customers. And the main goal is that to ensure that the software meets the specified requirement. So at VGCS, as I mentioned you, this software testing phase, we just do a lot of kind of testing, especially we do manual testing as well as automation testing as well, because we believe both of these two testing types are really, really important, uh, uh, as equally important. This can be differ from team to team as well, but in general, we believe that both of these testing needs to be there in order to provide a quality product for our customers. So if we just take the manual testing, we do different kind of testing types. I will not just go through with each and every type that we are doing because it will take a lot of time. But we do regression test, black box testing, API testing, UAT testing, and we just do the non-functional testing such as performance testing as well. Depends on your requirement that you get from the customers. We just change these types of testing that we are performing at VGCS. So that's what we do as QAs. Also, we just focus a lot about quality, the test automation as well, because I believe that is our future. For example, if we say now your software is getting increased with the features, now you're having a lot of features, you have like 1,000 test cases needs to be run before it goes to the customers. You cannot do it manually. So at VGCS, we have thought about the test automation from the very beginning, and we have very good framework there. And all the quality assurance engineers and developers are working together to implement these automation strategies where it will be helpful in the future for the long run of the company as well. So that's about software testing. And the next thing is about the insight of Volvo Connect. I can just show you guys how the Volvo Connect portal looks like, so you guys can get an idea about it. So this is, I hope you guys can see it now. So this is Volvo Connect portal that we are working with. So as you can see that we have many different areas. As I mentioned, different teams are working in different areas. Right now, I have logged into one of the test fleets that we are working with. So depends on the permission that you guys have or your account have, you will see the different kind of tools or the areas that we are working with. So we believe at VGCS, each and every implementation that we do for our customers needs to be behind a permission, because for Volvo Connect, there can be different kind of personas who's working with the Volvo Connect. So different users have different feature accessibility. So that is why we think about the permission levels as well. So these are few of the tools that we are working right now, but there are more as well. But if I just talk about the team that I'm working, we are responsible for mainly four tools, which is assets, calendar, logbook, and workshop history. And there are some other cool tools as well that VGCS is currently working. So I will just try to give kind of a little bit of idea how does this work and how these tools are getting connected with each other. So if I just navigate to assets, where we maintain all our trucks, the trailers. So if you can see that we have like 202 trucks for this specific fleet that we are working. So if you just go to any of the vehicles, it has different kind of data which is providing us. So we are consuming a lot of APIs, and we do API testing as well for each and every functionality that we see here to gather this data. By gathering data in these assets, we are just using these data in different tools in order to give the features or the services for our customers. For an example, if we say, now we have the vehicle called this one, Activate 001. These are like fake vehicles. And you can add a superstructure or equipment for this specific vehicle. So I'm just going to add one. So let's see, I'm just having a hook lift. So I'm just giving the test data. And the next thing is I will just show how this is going to be connected with another tool. So I'm just going to add a next inspection date. I'm just going to set up as 30th. So, and I'm going to save it. So if you just take this vehicle and if you just navigate to the calendar and just select one of the vehicle that you have selected, you can see that the hook lift that you have created, it has created an event inside the calendar as well. So from here onwards, what we are trying to provide for our customers is that we are trying to provide some notifications saying that you have an inspection due date for this specific superstructure and equipment, and you need to take action for this one. So likewise, we are just trying to provide a lot of services for our customers, and the other tools that the other teams also working provide such cool stuffs, actually, if I say so, because they do have a lot of other interesting functionalities as well. So likewise, we are just trying to connect with each other, these tools getting connected with each other. There are many more other features as well, but we cannot go through with each and everything. So that is how we just provide our services for our customers. So I believe you got an idea, at least a little bit of idea about how we work. So if we just move on with the slides. So the next most important topic when it comes to quality assurance is that the test automation. What test automation is that we are just using a software tool to execute our test cases or the test suites to make sure that the quality is there. So without involve of a human being, we are just trying to use a software in order to verify that the quality is there. So that's what automation does. I believe most of you guys know about this, but it's really important. Why it's important is there are many reasons why automation is very important for a software company. And we believe at VGCS, it gives a very wider test coverage for our applications, because every day that we are implementing a lot of features and it getting increases, and a lot of number of test cases are getting increased as well. So we need a good test coverage for each and every implementation that we do. So that is why we believe test automation is a must. And it saves times and the cost, and it increase the efficiency as well, of course, and it gives a better speed. It's just a matter of few minutes in order to run your test suite or number of test cases through a CI/CD pipeline. If you have a good CI/CD, then it's just a matter of few minutes to run all these test cases. And it's reusable. Of course, we need to do the maintainability of the test scripts. Of course, we need to do that, but it's reusable all the time. Most important thing is that we believe at VGCS we need to provide continuous deliveries for our customers, because it will be really helpful for the customers as well. So when we are doing a delivery, we need to do the testing as well. So in order to do the frequent testing, we need test automation. So that's why at VGCS, from the very beginning, we thought about test automation to have as part of the quality assurance. So if we just navigate again, at VGCS, we use different automation strategies, but in general, I think this is for our team. This can be differ from team to team, depends on the implementation or the requirements that they are getting. So we are using automation strategy, which called testing pyramid. There are other automation strategies as well, like testing trophy or anything else. But as a team, we just decided that we need to use the testing pyramid as a framework, which helps both developers and QAs to create high quality software. So what we do here is we just think the test cases or the automation test in three different levels, which is unit test, integration, and the UI test, and the manual testing, of course, that we do. So if we take the bottom part of this pyramid, it called that unit test. Why this portion is very large than the other sections? Because unit test is the foundation of the automation pyramid, and unit test layer is where much of the testing can take place. We are just kind of doing the testing of your code. As the developers, you can just write your code and just actually developers is responsible in order to write the unit test. So after doing the code, they are just writing the unit test as well. So the bigger portion will be the unit test that we have. The next section is about the integration test. We just work with the backend developers as well. So we need to have this integration between two components. So, or maybe many other components as well, like APIs and the databases that we are using. So we just thought of having automation test for integration test also a must. So that is why we just have that layer as well.
But
And next
later,
was,
sorry, Gayani, are you
yep.
showing the triangle or now, or
Yes.
we
Can't
can't
you
see
see
a
that?
screen anymore? It just disappeared. That's why I came in.
Oh, okay. Can you see the
Reshare.
text? Okay, yeah, sure.
Sorry.
It was
Please
showing before.
interrupt. But people were awake. They were like, we cannot longer see your presentation.
Can you see it now?
1 second. 3, 2, 1. It's a bit slow. Still loading. And hopefully it will work in a second. Or here we go. Now I hope
Okay.
everyone can see it. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, sorry guys, I didn't know that you guys cannot see. Yes. So yeah, the least part of the automation strategy is about the UI test, because it takes a lot of time to execute when comparing to unit test and the integration test, and it will cost a lot as well. So that is why the least part should be UI test. So this is kind of an automation strategy that we believed within our team that we should implement. So we are working towards to that as a team. So if we just go to the next slide, this is about how the quality release gates works at VGCS. So this is really important. In overall, you can see how many checks that we do before it goes to a customer. We do a lot of checks as quality. So we know that we are just providing the best for our customers. So once you have done your development, there will be the first check will be the peer review code, where one of your colleague will review your code and give the approval in order to go forward. But what we check here is that we are checking whether the code quality is there, what you have developed. So once the peer review has been approved, even though it's a backend or a front end PR or a review, that needs to go through with two other release gate, which is unit test and the component test gates. So these all the test cases which we have needs to be passed before it get the build get passed. So once these release gates has been passed, the build gate will pass, and then it comes to the quality assurance engineers in order to perform the manual testing in different environments. You can see that we have different environments, which is IoT, QA, and the production. And once the manual quality gate has been passed, then we are deploying it to QA. And in here also, we are just doing a quick manual checking with our real vehicle data. We do have test fleets with real vehicles. In here, we do the manual quality gate pass, and then we do the pre-UATs with service owners, and we just deploy to the production for specific fleets in order to do the UAT in production as well. Then there is another check, which is we are doing for the automated smoke test. This also needs to get passed once this has been enabled for our customers. So that is how we just do the quality release gates at VGCS. So as you can see, we just do the checking in the many different environments in many different ways in order to make sure that the quality is there. So that's something mandatory that we think. So I will just try to show the code that we are working with actually. So this is one of the repos that we work. So this is one of our test bot repos. So you can see that we are using Cypress for our test automation. It's one of the very powerful tools when it comes to automation. You can use different types of tools in different kind of companies, like such as Selenium, Product Actor. A lot of tools are there, but at VGCS we are using Cypress. So when you have downloaded Cypress, you can see there is a folder structure that you can have. So in here, in the fixtures, what we just have is the test data, of course. So we can have test data JSON files here in order to maintain the data. And in the integration test fold, you can have all your spec files where you can write your test cases actually. So you can see that we have maintained kind of a folder structure, which is really, really important when it comes to the coding, because it's for the maintainability as well. So you can maintain the code very easily when you have a proper folder structure. So those are kind of best practices that we have. The next most important best practice that we are having is the page object model. So I believe if you are a tester, you will probably know about this because it's one of the most popular design patterns that we are using as QAs or developers in order to have test automation. So for people who doesn't know what is this POM model is, so if you just go here, so the POM model is a design pattern used in automation where we can store our web UI elements. So for an example, every web page that you have, you can have a separate page object file where you can store all the UI web elements there. So you don't have to worry if, for an example, in the future, if one of the page elements get changed, you have to change it in only a one place rather than just having it in the test scripts. If you have it in the test scripts, you need to change in a lot of places. So that is why we try to maintain the POM model here, because it's very, very important when it comes to the maintainability of the code. So if you just go through with this one, so I have created a sample test for you guys to see. So if you can see, I have created a spec file called superstructure and equipment. So in here, the naming conventions, these kind of best practices also we are just trying to maintain within the code. That is something we just decided as a team together. So for the page objects also, if you just navigate to one of the page objects, I'll just go for the one that I have created already. So you can see that we are just trying to maintain kind of a pattern here. So for a button, we just making sure it shows as a button. For the drop downs, we just making sure that it has drop down or a text field. So it will be really easy for others to understand what actually in here with matching with the UI page that you have. So that is why we just try to do these best practices in our code as well. So if you just navigate to the spec file here, so you can see that I have already created one of the test case for you guys because we don't have time to code it in here. But anyways, so you can see what I'm just trying to do here is just navigating to assets and search one of the vehicles and click on the superstructure and equipment and create a superstructure here. So that's the test case that I'm just trying to create it in here. So you can see that with these comments also that we have put here, those also we believe to have as a best practice. So you can just easily understand by looking at the test case what actually these steps do. So that is very important for the long-term purposes actually. So that is why we just try to do these best practices as well. So as you can see that we are just trying to navigate to the specific vehicle over here, and we are clicking on the superstructure and equipment and just giving all the required data, and we are just clicking on the save button here. So the superstructure and equipment will get created for the specific vehicle. So another best practice, if I just mention it to you guys, we call this as data attributes in Cypress. So for an example, if you just click one of these fields that we have in here, you can see that we are maintaining test data IDs for each and every web UI element that we have in the UI. Why we do this is it's really helpful for the test automation, and this is a very unique this is a unique key, and it will helpful for the test automation. So we have discussed with our developers when they just do the development or then when they create the UI, they will add these test data IDs as well, which will helpful for everyone. So that is also a best practice that we are using in Cypress. I believe most of the companies should use this one actually. But yeah, if you don't have the data test IDs, there are many other ways as well that you can capture the element, like through the ID, CSS, XPath, or anything, the other methods that we have. But when you have a test data ID, it's really, really easy. So that's why we are just trying to maintain the test data IDs within our application. So these kind of best practices that we just try to maintain within our code. So there are many other things that we can just show you guys, but we don't have time, I guess. But I will just try to show how does this will work and how this will run. So as you can see, once I have opened Cypress, you can see all the spec files that we have written. So this is the one of the tests that I have written actually. So you can see that it will try to run automatically. Hopefully, it should actually. Uh, yes, it's taking time.
No worries. It's always when you are showing some
Okay.
technique, and it's always
Okay.
some
Yes, of
problem.
course. Yes, I'll just restart this and try to run it again.
And I can see that many people have asked question to Jonna in the Q&A. You have a couple of more minutes to answer, to ask. And let's see if Gayani will make
Now
the
it's
code
working.
happen. Yes.
Yeah, it's working now. So you can see it's navigating to our Volvo Connect portal. And we have a very strong framework, CC SDK, so working with all these things, and it's navigating to the login page, and yes, and it will navigate to assets right now and select one of the assets that we have selected. And yes.
Daniela is writing, technology also has a stage fright. Yes, very much
Yes.
so.
So
I love that we can, like, it feels like we have really watched behind the curtains here at Volvo Group, and you showing the backside and everything. It's very exciting.
yes, actually, it's really interesting when we do the automation as quality assurance engineers. Now you can see that it has been created. This is how we just do the verification through automation. We have many test cases that we have written. This is just a test bot. But if you go to the main repos, we have a lot of test cases that we have written in order to make sure that the quality is there. Because we'll think a lot about the quality before it goes to uh, our customers. So yeah, that's about it, because we don't have time to go through with everything,
No,
but this is just like the main things that we are working at VGCS, and we believe that the quality is one of the most important things that we should provide for our customers.
thank you so much, Gayani. We have a couple of minutes with questions for you because we have got some, and I'm just gonna pop them right away so we can ask as many as possible. Uh, so Daniela is writing, what is your favorite thing about working at Volvo?
So working at Volvo is always interesting, and the teams are really helpful. So that's the main important thing. And if you have like a lot of initiatives, they are very open-minded. So they will always listen to your suggestions, especially within the teams. They are just trying to involve together and just try to improve the quality as well. So if we just have kind of suggestions, we are just telling them how we can just proceed with this one. Can we just implement this one? So they are very open-minded always, and just try to do our best as well. And all the colleagues are really friendly. That's one of the most important thing while you're working at a company. So I
Yeah.
think we have that at VGCS as well. So that's why the most important reasons that I'm working with VGCS.
Good people surrounding you. Because someone
Yes.
is asking about the people around you. How do you usually work with other roles within Volvo?
Yeah, that's as I mentioned you, every role is like getting together. That's the speciality at VGCS, I guess. So from the very beginning of the PI planning to end of the deliveries, we are working as a team together. So even though the product owners and the UX engineers are the responsible to gather the requirements and have the requirements, but we developers, quality assurance engineers, everyone get together and discuss the requirements, how we can just do implement this one, how we can implement this. So we are just getting together, and it's kind of a very supportive thing. We are working every roles together to make this happen.
Hmm,
So it's very easy as well. Yeah.
that's cool. Denise, did you spot another question? Someone is asking, oh, I have to ask it. Do you use AI to check code?
Super.
No, not
No,
yet.
not yet. That was a good question. I know it's really like hot right now. But we also have some final questions here. Someone is asking about what was the project that you loved working on during your career and why? Yeah, it feels like you already. Do you have any favorite project that you loved working on?
Yeah, actually, it depends. It depends on how you get the knowledge. I believe that every project that I have worked, given different kind of knowledge for me. So I believe it's everything is really important. Especially working with different domains gives you a lot of information,
Mm,
and we need to use different kind of techniques as well. So I believe everything is really important. You do at software company. Yes.
yes, solid answer. So we are in the end of this webinar. I know that some of you haven't got your questions answered. However, Gayani, you do have a LinkedIn,
Yes, I do have LinkedIn.
and people can connect with you there if they
Yeah,
have
sure.
questions.
Yeah, of
Um,
course. I'm really
So-
happy to answer you guys if you have any questions.
Yes, so don't be sad at me because I didn't bring up your question. You can reconnect with Gayani on LinkedIn. We will send out the recording after at latest tomorrow, and along with the recording we can send out some links as well, because I can see that Jonna, you got a lot of questions, and maybe I can do some sort of summarize on that one as well for you guys. And I see that everyone is writing in the chat. Thanks for a great webinar. Thanks for a great presentation. It was really great to having you here, Gayani, and thank you to Volvo Group and everyone who was joining today. I hope you had a great lunch with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for joining with us, and I hope you got a little bit insight about quality and how it's important as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you once again, and keep in contact. Have a
Yeah,
great
thank-
Thursday now.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.